But after his success 2 weeks ago, he's back in the studio for another edition of Talk Mortgage. He's been in and around the UAE for the last 19 years. Now he's working with Lion Mortage, managing their sales teams. He's the head honcho there. Amit Nainani, we didn't scare you off the first time. You're happy to come back and have a chat to us.
I'm learning.
Some people come in and they're like, we never see them again.
No, I'm learning. I'm becoming more braver now.
Oh, no, you're good. It's great to have you in here as well. We know how busy you are, so we do appreciate your time. A lot of messages have been coming through from people that want to try and navigate how difficult this situation is when it comes down to mortgages, specifically when I think people are starting to get a lot of FOMO. Do they see these prices are rising and the interest rates going? And is really one of the first things that you do is try and calm people's emotions and make them start thinking with their, with their head rather than their heart?
Yes, I think the first step that we guide them through is getting a pre-approval because, they see a property which their family member has bought or a friend has bought and they become excited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or the benefit someone has got by selling a property he bought few years back. So the first thing is to make them sit, understand what's their eligibility, get them a pre-approval so then they can go and shop as per their desired eligibility. That's what we do.
When you say pre-approval, I'm sure I'm reading it. If I'm reading it right, it is the ability of a person to get a certain amount of mortgage loan from a bank. But what are the benefits of pre-approvals?
See, pre-approval gives you an upper hand because when you meet a real estate agent, he takes you seriously that you're a serious buyer.
Okay.
You're hunting for a property with the right equipments. Mm-hmm. So then he gets you the right deal. And it also knows where you stand. So if your salary is, let's say, X value, you can buy a property in a certain range. Mm-hmm. So then you can shop around that budget.
I quite like to put numbers in perspective. When you say that your salary is X and this becomes your Y becomes your loan amount. What are those numbers? Let's take out the calculator, Amit. Because see, when people listen to us, they are also trying to figure out what is X and what is Y, Amit. Right?
I'll give you a simple example.
Perfect.
Assume someone's salary is 15,000 dirhams.
Okay.
He has few liabilities in the country. He would have a credit card. He would have an auto loan. So he's eligible for a 1 million loan as per his liabilities.
Okay.
So that pre-approval letter makes him understand that he can go for a property where the bank is willing to give him 1 million and he puts in the balance 20% from his pocket and he buys the property.
So he can go and buy
1.2 million property.
1.2
million.
Now this is good. Now that we're putting these numbers into place, also helps understand that when you have other liabilities, which means that your loan capability reduces.
Correct.
Your pre-approval capability reduces. So would it be better to reduce off your credit card bills, or probably does the credit card limit also come into play?
Yes, every bank has a separate policy. Some take 3% of a credit card limit, some take 5% as a utilization limit. So every bank has a different parameters set. So the more credit card limits you have, the lesser eligibility you will have in any loan product that you're borrowing.
Okay, so basically cut down on the number of credit cards you have and reduce the limits as well.
Easy way is to reduce the limits.
Okay.
Because if you close a card, it takes 2 months for that card to reflect as a closed card in your AECB report.
Wow. See, these are insights you wouldn't have known ever. If I were to do something like this, I would have said, listen, cancel this credit card, cancel that credit card, and then I wouldn't even know that, it's still not reflected.
It takes time. Anything takes time.
See, this is why you need to go to someone like Lion Mortage, and then you've got someone that's got all the experience to help be able to navigate this and realise what you can't do, and sometimes open up doors and opportunities which you didn't realise were there. Are these more the fundamentals of why a mortgage broker will help you with mortgage pre-approval?
See, the whole objective of a mortgage broker is to explain you across the board, because there are 10 to 14 banks which are offering mortgages.
And who's got the best one at the moment?
Correct. So it's not only an interest rate proposition is important. You could have a life insurance, which also is a charge. You could have a property insurance. So when we meet a client, we explain him multiple options. Which bank is offering a nil valuation, which bank is offering a nil processing fees.
Okay.
So then we see which fits his requirement.
So what are these nil valuation, nil processing fees?
See, when a client takes a mortgage loan, every bank does a valuation of the property.
Okay.
So there are some banks who waive off that cost for a client.
Okay.
After the loan is disbursed.
And what is that approximately?
It's in the range of 2,625 to 3,150.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a basic cost for a valuation company to visit the property and give you a report on the current market value.
Okay.
The second major cost is the processing fees. That's when the bank is booking the loan. So that's also a cost. It varies from bank to bank. Life insurance is mandatory with most of the lenders.
Okay.
It also varies. Property insurance also varies.
So life insurance of the person who's borrowing.
Correct. On whose income the loan is being given.
Okay.
So assume today you take a mortgage on your salary. You will be insured for that loan amount.
Okay.
So God forbidden anything happens to you, the insurance company pays to the bank and knocks off the loan.
Oh, okay. But then I'm sure that the insurance company also will then come and do like massive back checks on or what is to be done.
That only comes in if it's a high value ticket. If a
Okay.
loan amount is, let's say, above 5 million, then you'll have to do the medical test and then they evaluate your premium. But if
Okay.
it's a lower ticket size, it's a standard premium by the insurance company.
Interesting. Now, see, again, all of these things, there are so many aspects of buying a property. Kitch and I were talking about this, that it's not like, going to a supermarket and buying your favorite apples. It is, a lot of processes come into play. First thing, you need to know what you want to buy, why you want to buy. You want to buy it for your own self so that you can go and live there and knock off your rents that you're paying, or you want to make revenue out of it, like a revenue generation.
Investment
stream.
property, like.
Right? Does mortgage change from that angle also, that what is going to be the end use of the property?
See, generally when people buy, they have this idea that they will live into the property. It's just when the property is ready or they get the handover, then they change their plan depending on their office location, their school kids, the school where the kids are going. 80% of the people buy with an intent to stay in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because they see the difference in the rent they are paying. It's the balance 20 who are buying multiple properties for rental income.
This is good.
It's the old 80-20 rule. You've been working here for so long. You've been able to navigate so many turbulent times, whether it was, the GFC in 08, whether it was COVID. How do you think you've remained successful as a mortgage broker for these past 17, 18 years?
I guess it's about meeting more and more people individually, because in such cases, when you meet a client, you understand their scenario. You can't sell a product on a phone call. You need to meet and understand them. At times, there are clients who may not have the right set of income, but their siblings could have it. Assume there
So
is
we're going to go to our brother and borrow some money? Is that
No. Now, I'll give you an example. Assume I'm individually getting a salary of 20,000 dirhams.
Okay.
I want to buy a house for 4 million. I can't do it with a 20,000 salary. I have a wife who's also getting 20,000. The bank can club both our incomes and get us a higher eligibility.
Right.
So same can go with siblings as well.
I've got to get a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what it's.
I don't think that will help.
Oh, okay.
There are 50% queries with that scenario, but we don't help them.
Okay, fair enough. I understand. But again, this is what it comes down to, a mortgage broker. This is why you got to go see yourself at Lion Mortgage, because you have this, the knowledge, the inside knowledge of 20 years of experience. Because for many people, it's daunting coming here for the first time and trying to get your visa right, let alone try and navigate the mortgage market.
Yes. Did Amit, like rightly Kitch said, that there are so many aspects to it, so many things that one has to do. So where does it all start? What is the first step towards buying a property?
I guess the first step is to call a mortgage advisor and get a consultation done with them to understand on an individual scenario how much can you borrow, and then you plan your things.
So then, okay, let's take case by case. Okay. If there is someone who wants to live in a big fancy 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment, but has or earns only so much that he can probably afford only a studio, right? So and when he comes or she comes and says, listen, I want to buy a 2-bedroom apartment so that I can knock off the rent. I don't want to pay rent and everything. But you analyze and say, listen, you have only 100,000 in your bank. Correct. And with your salary and everything, you'll get only about 1 million. You can't buy a 2-bedroom apartment. Then how does that plan
there's
work?
Something called as being positive and being practical.
Okay.
So at times you have to be positive and practically make him understand that, sir, this is where you stand. This is what you're eligible for. If you have inherited wealth, you can go ahead and buy it.
Okay. Inherited wealth, यानी कि डैडी ने पैसे दे दिए.
Correct.
नहीं वो it's very
salary
rare.
is something which you get on your merit,
Right.
On your education, on your qualification, on your experience. Inherited wealth is without all these parameters.
Kitch, how many villas are you buying?
Mate, how much is a call? I got to ring Dad.
I just noticed him logging his Australia.
Yeah.
Right?
Get on the phone and see what's going on. But this is part of the expert experience. Is it fair to say that mortgage brokers, you can sometimes get even lower rates than Neil and I could if we just went to the banks ourselves?
Definitely.
There we go.
I love that affirmation. Definitely. That was a sign of confidence.
Maybe we'll see if you come in for a chat. We'll find something out. That was a straight up. We'll we'll get it for you.
See, we have to give that comfort, right? Otherwise, no one will come to us.
0586861003. We're in conversation. We're in conversation with Amit Nainani from Lion Mortages. If you do have some questions about getting yourself a mortgage or being pre-approved, one message has come in. Actually, it's a compliment. Rahul has said, I enjoyed using a mortgage broker because they were able to save me time. And I think that's probably an underestimated aspect of it. Just the time it saves you when having someone do these things for you.
I appreciate the initiative that he sent that message.
Yeah.
People are happy, but people don't take the initiative to inform others that their experience was good.
Yeah, because they want others to be troubled. They want themselves to be happy. That's the human
they
tendency,
want
isn't
people
it?
to benefit. It's just someone's good experience. So that's also a good initiative. I appreciate that he had the courage to type that message.
Well, it sounds like someone who's successful that understands the importance of time. Time is money, and sometimes if you're not dealing with the frustrations of having to negotiate banks and go through all that paperwork, it allows you more time to be a better dad and a better worker, and you've got someone else doing the job for you.
You could more focus on your main productive work, right, rather than all the petty things.
Definitely. Lion Mortages, we're in conversation here on Talk Mortgage this afternoon. Forecasting the market, it's always impossible to do, but everyone wants to know, where do you think it's going to go? It's had rapid growth over the past 2 years post-COVID. If anything, it's not going to go backwards. It's only going to stay the same or go up, isn't it?
It will be same. It will be going up as well. See, the number of people that are moving to UAE is increasing day by day. That's the major reason for that.
Now, do banks also look at where you're looking to buy properties when they're looking to disburse loans or give you a certain percentage of interest?
No, it doesn't depend on the location. You could buy a house in Marina, you could buy a house in JLT. That's as per your preference or your budget. They don't interfere in your decision making towards the property.
Okay.
That's very clear with them. They are more concerned of lending you money with an intention that you'll pay them on time.
So will they then look at where you're working, how good the organization is that you're working with, and basis that, or would the interest rate also change basis that?
Interest rate doesn't change on the basis of your employer.
No, it's the decision of should I give him or should I not give him?
Because for them, it's a collective decision that if you're lending to an individual on his income, is he able to repay you back? That's what they look at.
But then again, I mean, my property is mortgaged against the amount that I take. So that in a way is a risk-free lending, isn't it?
Property is just a backup for the bank in case the client doesn't pay, so they sell off the property.
Right.
But we have to understand the bank is not in the business of collecting properties. The bank's core business is to lend money, earn interest, and run their shop. That's what the core activity is.
0586861003. This is Talk Mortgage. We're speaking with Amit Nainani from Lion Mortgage. I have a question for you. How do mortgages change between if me wanting to buy a villa or me wanting to get a plot and land style of mortgage?
It changes. It changes on the client profile. It's more easier to get a mortgage loan on a ready property because there are more takers for a ready property. In plot also there are takers, but there is more due diligence because where the plot is located and how soon will you construct on the plot. Because till the time you don't construct a property on it, it doesn't hold that much value.
Yeah, but is further to that, is there also the concern for the bank of the wealth that, okay, we know that Arabian Ranches has been solid for the last 10 years, and therefore a new area, the prices might still be unpredictable and fluctuate a bit. It's hard to nominate the value.
So they lend as per the current value of that property. So that's how what I mentioned to him previously, that any loan that happens, they do an individual valuation by an external party, which is completely outside party giving you a current market value as per the DLD figures. So then you know that you will only lend as per that value. So you're comfortable within that space.
So it doesn't, like Kitch mentioned, it doesn't change from, it does change from a land parcel to a ready property, but does it change from a villa versus an apartment?
No, it changes on the value of the property.
Okay.
So just to give you an example, if you're buying a house above 5 million, there is a guideline that the banks will finance you up to 70% of the property value.
Okay.
If the property value is less than 5 million, they will finance you up to 80%.
It's up to 80%. It's not necessarily always 80%.
It depends on the client's eligibility also.
What about some
I may be only eligible for 50% as well.
All right.
So that's why.
What about some of those mega loans out on the palm where there's like 70, 80 million
Those
dirham
are
visas?
also happening. Yeah, banks finance that as well.
Do you get a better interest rate if you go up to that much?
Interest rate doesn't change. It's actually more riskier because it's a concentration risk. Imagine you giving 10 loans
Yeah.
on 1 million property and 1 loan on a 10 million property. From a bank's perspective, it's more of a concentration risk, but they still do it on the client profile.
It's not interest only in some cases?
No, it's not interest only. It's including the interest and the principal together. So a monthly installment includes both of it.
These conversations are really, really interesting. The way we are building it up. I'm sure that if you have questions, and if you have questions, you can send them on 0586861003. Amit Nainani from Lion Mortgages. Amit, you're wearing a cufflink, which is also a lion. I mean, so loyal to your brand. I love this already.
Thank you. I am fond of cufflinks. That's why.
Yeah, let us know. Talk Mortgage. It's good to have Amit Nainani. He's here in the studio, taking more of your questions. In regards to your services at Lion Mortgage, if people want to get in contact with you, do you only do mortgages, any other conveyancing or any other services like that?
We also help clients with trade and working capital facilities. It depends on their requirement. Basically, it's a financial solution.
And all of it. Do you do wills and estates and that sort of thing?
We don't do that. Primarily, it's more to do with mortgages. That's our core activity.
Wonderful. Well, it's been great to get you in as always. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me on board.
What's on tomorrow? Off to the Palm, try and negotiate some more villas?
I'm just waiting for both your calls. Who will call me first tomorrow to get an eligibility check done? That's what I'll wait tomorrow.
I wonder who it could be. Might even be producer Pranav, the way the guys...
I'll catch hold of him while walking out.
If you do want to get in contact, head to the website lionmortgage.com, or you can look up Amit Nainani. He's on LinkedIn, all the socials,
social media platforms.
All the WhatsApp number. You can get in contact there is 971-447-4710. Actually, one final question for you. Yeah. This has come in from a friend of the show, Ask Pankaj, one of the best taxation officers here in Dubai. What implications will corporate tax have on property mortgage marks?
I'll contact him separately and answer.
Pankaj!
I think we might have some industry competition
going on.
There's something
called as one-to-one conversations. I'll do it one-to-one with him.
I quite like this. See Pankaj messaging in while Amit is sitting here. Yeah. Sandeep Jadwani, another investment consultant who's a dear friend of our show, he sent in a message saying that, my dear friend Amit is going to be on the show. So please tune in. He put it out on the socials as well. So it's a good conglomeration of people who understand money, understand taxes, and make your life simpler, coming on Talk 100.3.
Sandeep is a dear friend. We have studied together in college and we have constantly worked in 2 banks together. That's why.
Look at that.
He's a good well-wisher.
Small world. The small world of people making your life easier.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in. Talk Mortgage as always on